Welcome! The Utah Department of Transportation has prepared an environmental assessment, also called EA, to evaluate proposed transportation improvements on 5600 South, State Route 97, from 3500 West, SR 108, to Interstate 15, I-15 in Roy, Utah. All chapters of the EA are available for download on the project website. Hard copies are available for viewing at the Weber County Library, Southwest Branch in Roy, and by appointment at various locations. Please call the project phone number to schedule an appointment. The purpose of this meeting is to present the results of the EA, show the preferred alternative, and gather your feedback. We will also show you the tools available on the project website to provide further information and to learn more at your own pace. The study area for the 5600 South Environmental Assessment is shown here. It includes 5600 South from 3500 West to the Hill Air Force Base North Gate and includes modifications to the 5600 South and Interstate 15 interchange. The project area also includes improvements along 1900 West from 5700 South to Riverdale Road. The purpose of the project is to meet future 2050 travel demand on 5600 South and at the I-15 5600 South interchange, and to improve safety conditions within this study area. The project is needed because by 2050, major intersections such as 3100 West, 2700 West, 2200 West, 1900 West, and Freeway Park Drive would operationally fail during the AM or PM peak period if improvements are not made. The project is also needed because UDOT crash data reports a high number of congestion-related crashes, and it is predicted that the number of crashes could increase by 2050 as traffic congestion increases. In addition, several pedestrian and bicycle-related crashes have occurred along the corridor. A goal of the project is to accommodate active transportation, or transportation that is powered by human energy, primarily walking and bicycling along 5600 South. Since the project scoping meeting held in 2018, UDOT has developed and screened alternatives to evaluate a range of design solutions. In fall of 2019, the team optimized the 5600 South alternatives to try to reduce the number of property and historic impacts. Identified a build alternative in winter 2019. Evaluated the social and environmental impacts from the build alternative and the no build alternative in spring 2020. On June 23rd, UDOT published the environmental assessment for public view and comment. The public comment period is 30 days long and will end at midnight on July 23rd, 2020. Comments sent postal service should be postmarked by July 23rd. The final environmental assessment and decision is anticipated in the fall of 2020. It will include response to public comments. UDOT developed solutions called alternatives based on the needs identified for the study area. These alternatives were screened against the performance criteria identified based on the purpose and need for the project. Level 1 screening evaluated the alternative's ability to accommodate 2050 traffic demand and improve safety. Level 2 screening evaluated the remaining alternative's ability to minimize Section 4F uses. We will define 4F uses later. Minimize acquisition and relocations, and ability to accommodate the project's active transportation goal. In addition, UDOT evaluated a no-build alternative to provide a baseline for screening. The no-build alternative assumes the completion of all projects proposed in the Wasatch Front Regional Council 2019 to 2050 Regional Transportation Plan without improvements to the existing interchange or to the 5600 South corridor. You can find more details about this in Chapter 1 of the EA. An evaluation of Section 4F properties was completed for this project. A Section 4F property is defined as publicly owned land of a public park, recreation area, or wildlife and waterfowl refuge of national, state, or local significance, or land of a historic site of national, state, or local significance. For this project, the historic properties were the focus of the Section 4F evaluation. This evaluation showed that there are no feasible or prudent avoidance alternatives to the preferred alternative. All measures have been taken to minimize harm to Section 4F properties. Impacts from the preferred alternative include 4 de minimis impacts, meaning a partial acquisition of property, 28 greater than de minimis impacts, meaning the full acquisition and demolition of a building. No recreation properties would be impacted. Right-of-way impacts would occur under the preferred alternative. An interactive map is presented within the story map on the project website, so you can view your individual property. All alternatives considered for the 5600 South corridor include the same cross-section as shown here, which includes an additional lane in each direction and added bicycle lane on each side of the road. 3 alternatives along with the no-build alternative were evaluated along 5600 South. The shift north alternative matches the existing right-of-way line on the south side of 5600 South and widens to the north. The meander alternative widens and shifts north and south to minimize property impacts to the extent feasible. The shift south alternative matches the existing right-of-way line on the north side of 5600 South and widens to the south. Using the identified screening criteria, UDOT evaluated how well each proposed alternative performed. The alternatives considered for I-15 interchange include the no-build alternative, a diamond interchange, and a single-point urban interchange, or SPUI. The 1900 West intersection is also included in this evaluation because of its close proximity to the interchange. The diamond alternative has the same configuration as the existing interchange, but would be redesigned with additional lanes to meet 2050 travel projections and current UDOT standards. The ramps would also be extended to accommodate longer queue lengths and higher speeds. A SPUI allows for opposing directional traffic by combining 2 ramp intersections into one. The SPUI alternative includes a collector distributor or CD system to Riverdale Road, the interchange immediately north. The CD system would eliminate existing weaving on I-15 by allowing northbound drivers to exit at 5600 South and continue north to Riverdale Road. A bridge is proposed over 5600 South to provide free-flowing traffic on the CD system, and Freeway Park Drive would be realigned over 5600 South as a flyover. The new intersection on Freeway Park Drive and 5600 South would be shifted to the north of the existing gate at Hill Air Force Base. The SPUI also includes pedestrian and bicycle connections between 5600 South and Freeway Park Drive. Level of service, LOS, is the term used to describe the operational performance of an intersection or road. It is measured on a scale from A to F, with A representing the best performance and F representing the worst or failing performance. Compared to the no-build alternative, travel time and intersection delays would be reduced by 20% along the corridor under all 3 conceptual alternatives. In addition, intersection level of service would operate at an acceptable level for all major intersections, with the exception of 3500 West or SR 108. Therefore, the 3 conceptual corridor alternatives, shift north, shift south, and meander met level 1 screening criteria and were advanced to level 2 screening. The SPUI alternative would perform better than the no-build alternative and the diamond alternative because it would consolidate traffic into a single intersection instead of two closely spaced intersections. Additionally, the Freeway Park Drive intersection would be relocated further away from the interchange to solve traffic issues associated with the current closely spaced intersections. The SPUI alternatives result in the lowest combined delay during the AM and PM peak periods. Under the three conceptual corridor alternatives, crash rates are predicted to decrease in each segment along 5600 South, compared to the 2050 no-build alternative. Crash rates are expected to decrease because congestion will be reduced. The SPUI interchange is safer than the diamond interchange because it eliminates traffic weaving patterns on I-15 and uses a CD system allowing for free-flowing traffic, and in doing so reduces the number of conflict points or places where crashes could occur. The proposed addition of bicycle lanes on the north and south sides of 5600 South, a signalized pedestrian crossing or hawk signal at the 2100 West intersection, and a grade separation of the D and RG trail crossing would improve safety conditions for all conceptual alternatives along 5600 South. In addition, consistent bicycle lanes and sidewalks through the 1900 West intersection and continuing through the SPUI to Freeway Park Drive would improve bicyclist and pedestrian safety at the I-15 interchange. Based off the information just summarized, the build alternative is a combination of the SPUI at the interchange and the shift south alternative on 5600 South. The three conceptual corridor alternatives and a no-build alternative were evaluated at level 2 screening. The shift south alternative was selected because it would have the fewest number of Section 4F uses and fewest non-Section 4F property impacts, full and partial acquisitions. It would result in the second lowest number of relocations and the lowest number of residential relocations. The shift south alternative also best met the active transportation goal identified for the project. The build alternative was identified as the preferred alternative because it meets the project purpose and need, whereas the no-build alternative does not. The proposed improvements under the preferred alternative include widening 5600 South from 3 lanes to 5 lanes, or from approximately 64 feet wide to 103 feet wide, adding buffered bicycle lanes, signed and striped, along both sides of 5600 South and through each intersection, adding median lanes with curb at intersections, adding dual left turn lanes at 3500 West, adding a new traffic signal at the 3100 West intersection, adding above grade crossing of the D&RG rail trail, widening the bridge over the Union Pacific and Front Runner railroads, adding a new signalized pedestrian crossing called a high intensity activated crosswalk or hawk signal at the 2100 West intersection, adding through lane and dual left and right turn lanes at the 1900 West intersection. This illustration shows that the 5600 South corridor would look like under the preferred alternative. The road would be 2 lanes in each direction with a center median, bike lanes with a 3-foot buffer between the travel lanes, shoulder, curb gutter, park strip, and sidewalk. It is anticipated the right-of-way acquisition along the south side of the corridor would result in surplus property. Surplus property is the part of the land that is not converted to a roadway facility after an agency, such as UDOT, acquires right-of-way for roadway improvement purposes. UDOT elected to add the multi-purpose trail identified in Roy City's Transportation Master Plan to the build alternative as a result of this surplus. The multi-purpose trail would be located on the south side of the road and would replace the sidewalk where there is room. The multi-purpose trail would connect to the bike lanes on 1900 West intersection, continuing through the SPUI to Freeway Park Drive. The single point urban interchange or SPUI alternative is selected as the preferred alternative at the I-15 interchange because it accommodates 2050 travel demand and improves safety. The SPUI improves safety by eliminating existing weaving on I-15 associated with the close spacing between the 5600 South interchange and the Riverdale Road northbound off-ramp. The SPUI allows northbound drivers to exit at 5600 South and use the new bridge over 5600 South to continue north to Riverdale Road. In addition, the preferred alternative includes pedestrian and bicycle improvements, including bicycle lanes and sidewalk connection from 5600 South to Freeway Park Drive, and signed bicycle lanes in the shoulders of Freeway Park Drive on both sides of the road. This video shows how vehicles on 5600 South will access Freeway Park Drive, how vehicles on Freeway Park Drive will access 5600 South, how vehicles on I-15 can access Freeway Park Drive, how vehicles can use the CD ramp to access Riverdale Road, and finally, active transportation improvements throughout the interchange. This table summarizes the impacts to the build and natural environment that would occur from the preferred alternative. The EA assessed the following resources: land use, social, economic conditions, acquisition and relocation, including any full or partial right-of-way acquisitions, residential and commercial, environmental justice for low-income or minority populations, pedestrian and bicyclist, air quality, noise, cultural, including historical properties, Section 4F for historic and recreational properties, water resources, including ground and surface water. The same summary table is located in the executive summary chapter, and impacts to each resource evaluated is discussed in detail in Chapter 3 of the environmental assessment. This slide represents an overview of the UDOT right-of-way process. Please call the project hotline in order to coordinate a meeting with the right-of-way team to discuss your property. The comment period is 30 days long and ends on July 23rd. All comments must be submitted by midnight on July 23rd in order to be included in the official project record and in the final EA. You can submit comments via mailed letter. Dictate using the project hotline, use email, or submit directly through the project website. All comments received during the official comment period will be responded to and included in the final EA. Public comments can also be submitted at the in-person public hearing being held on July 8th at Roy Elementary School. Social distancing practices will be in place for COVID-19 conditions. Therefore, we will limit the number of people that can be inside the meeting at one time. Please call 385-383-6576 or email 5600southea@utah.gov to schedule an attendance time. Thank you so much for participating.